How long you been doing stand-up for?
That's a two-parter, actually, because I started in 2006. And I quit in 2009 after like I ate a fat dick during a show in at San Francisco State. And I wasn't really making much progress as a comic, so I quit for like years, and then I came back in 2016. So probably about 9 years total.
Well, yeah, that was a one-parter.
Gap. That's a big gap, but
it's a huge gap because I wanted to raise my kid and just get my shit together. Like when I first got started, like I was like in my 20s, and I was not much different from people that age. Like I was getting fucked up. I was saying like dumb shit on stage. Like I was basically the kind of person that would have found like really shitty mics to be productive. Like it just, nothing was happening, and so I wasn't really surprised. The one thing I did do that was really productive was I announced my pregnancy at Brainwash. and I kept the baby. So
shout out to Tony Sparks. Yeah, there we go. How old is Joseph now?
Joseph?
Oh, my bad.
Jacob. His name is Jacob.
That's not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, he just graduated, right?
Yeah, Jake graduated from middle school. He started high school last month.
Nice.
Last year.
Yeah,
it's crazy how fast.
Yeah, this is why Tony Sparks is like legit the Godfather, because he found out about my pregnancy before my parents did.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like I didn't know how I was gonna tell my family. I was just like, so I was trying out at an open mic, and then the friends that came with me, they were just like, yeah, hell yeah, let's take a shot. And I was like, I can't. They're like, oh bitch, you weren't kidding. And I was like, no, bitch, no, no.
You mentioned that she's the best person to DM about other
people's dumb shit.
Okay,
yeah.
No, we'll start before that. So Ivy is a hilarious comedian, but then it's also hella funny when we're on Facebook, and then Facebook beef is starting, and then Ivy is the best person to like, or just read the comment that she leaves under somebody, because people say that she's bullying. What really is happening, she just doesn't give a fuck, and she'll tell you exactly how she feels.
I mentioned that because I've seen like her, chewing some people out in a very poetic way.
That needs to be chewed out.
Needs to be chewed out. And I remember thinking, I want to hit her up because I hear she's funny to be on my show, but also, what she's mean. So, like you kind of don't want to.
Exactly.
Like, look at this dumb motherfucker asked me to be on the show. And I see myself on the wanted list. Like on the.
Hey, there's no such thing as bad press, my friend.
Yeah, that's not true. But
it's not true. I don't want to.
That is the dumbest saying in the fucking world.
Yeah.
There is a total such thing as bad press.
Like I promise, I'm nice. I just don't take people's shit, especially when they're not qualified to say it.
Yeah. Like,
you know what I mean?
What's an example of something that'll piss you off?
Okay, some asshole. So I posted a flyer
without saying names,
of course.
Unless
I mean,
we have that disclaimer. It's all good.
Yeah, I'd like to hear the names.
Say what you want.
Perfect. So, at the time I was running a Zoom show. Do you remember my Zoom show, The Playlist?
I do.
Yeah, I was running that shit, and so like at the time I had 2 comics from LA that were on the show. So I was like, maybe I'll put this in the LA comic group just to see interest, because they were like pretty good comics, and I was like, let me see if people would be interested in watching this. And so I posted it, and like 5 minutes later, this random dude goes, Zoom comedy is not real comedy. And I was like, okay, that's great. Other people want to watch, so maybe keep it moving. And I forgot what he said to me that was like fucked up, but like it got me mad enough to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought a bitch with no credits said something. And he got dragged. He got dragged by a couple of other LA comics.
LA comic?
Yeah, it was an LA comic.
That shit hurts their feelings.
Yeah. I was like, sorry, like just where credits where. And then I posted it, and then Mean Dave was actually like, oh, I know him. That guy used to be a bouncer, and like he actually had like a room in LA where people would do feedback or something, and then he would record the sets and like. And I guess do commentary on it, but like that thing was basically, it closed down during the pandemic, and according to Dave and Sean Boyles, they were just like, yeah, this guy had something going, and then because it closed during the pandemic, he just got hella bitter about people that were trying to do comedy about it. We're just like, if you don't like it, it's cool. It's like, none of us want to do Zoom comedy either, but like move around. Like we got to keep ourselves busy. Like
it's the only thing that was going on at the time.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, you think I'd pick this over a live show, but like I'm also not trying to die. Like, go away.
It's either this or meth, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Or possibly both.
Possibly both.
Meth keeps you focused, right?
And skinny.
So what was the difference when you came back? Like, what did you do different?
Yeah.
Well, you're obviously doing great now.
Thank you. So when I first started, I think the biggest difference was that I wasn't focused. I had a lot of like turmoil going on in my personal life, and then when I came back, like by then I had a kid. I had like some grown-up responsibilities. I was like, I had gone through a like separation. Like I used to be married, not to my son's father, but I married some other dude because hoe is life, and like these things happen. Weed's a hell of a drug, and so like I was just like, you know what? If I'm gonna do this again, I'm gonna do this right. Like let's see what happens if let's say I don't drink during shows, I don't party, I don't fuck everybody around me. You know, that didn't happen for another 3 years, and so like I was just kidding. It's fucked up. Like I was just like, I'm gonna do this the correct way. I'm not gonna get caught up in the whole, because I think a lot of people do get caught up in the whole social aspect of the comedy scene, and which was
shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and they just look at it as sort of like there's like an extension of their social life, and I'm like, let me see if I keep myself away from this stuff, what's gonna happen. So I kind of just, the only thing I did was I hit up the people that I remembered from when I was gone, which was one of them was Joseph Annalyn, who
Who?
You've never met Joseph?
Don't recall.
He's a beast, dude.
You don't know him?
I was about to say, how the fuck you're in the Bay Area, you don't know Joseph?
No, I was about to say, how do you know Joseph and he works at fucking Copper Spoon? You always be at Copper Spoon and shit like that. I was like, you've done a ton of shit at Copper Spoon. Stop lying.
I'm fucking with him because I invited him to be on the show and he was always busy. He's like, who? Sorry, I've never heard of him.
Yeah, because we started out as theater kids, and so Joseph and I, we actually started at the same time because Kevin Kamiya, he mentored us because he put together the first workshop that was for the kids at our theater. Well, not kids, but we were all like kids in our 20s basically.
Yeah.
And so that's how I started comedy. And so like he was one of the few people I remembered that was still doing it, that hadn't like moved. He was
in New York or something.
He was a few years away from moving to New York, and so I hit him up. Not even to be like, give me shows, I'm back. I just let him know, like, I was just like, hey, what are the mics that are going on now? Blah, blah, blah. And then I hit up a few more people. Like, there was one point where I went to Brainwash's anniversary, and I didn't know anybody. Like, I didn't know anybody that was on the stage at the time. I mean, I do now, but like,
all brand new faces.
Yeah, I didn't know anybody, so I just walked in, I sat down without saying anything to anybody. And then Tony Sparks came and he put a cupcake next to me on the table that I was sitting at, gave me a hug and said, welcome back.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I'd been gone for years and I cried all the way home. I was just like, I guess I can take this shit seriously. So that's what
that guy's an angel.
He is. Like, he's fucking great. So I think the biggest difference is just I have more discipline. Like, I have more discipline. I'm, something that I have to keep in the back of my mind too. Like, whenever I think about some of the dumb shit that trips people up, I'm like, no matter how much I love this, like, I don't get paid enough to take any of this home into my personal life.
Yeah.
It's the whole separation between the fact that this is still a job and you still have to be somewhat professional, even though you like dragging people on Facebook.
Exactly.
Still got to be professional.
Especially if you have kids.
Right.
Yeah. Because like I don't want Jacob, my son. I don't want him out there like, my mom, I don't want to be that person, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that there's stuff that I'm not saying that I don't do stuff, but like there's some stuff that I just don't. It's not on the surface. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I keep that shit separate because.
Is there a big worry that you have as a parent and a comic at the same time? I don't know. Is there anything like that? Like,
I mean, if anything, like sometimes I worry whether, my son thinks that I'm doing comedy just for fun or to be out of the house. But at the same time, it's just, I've always worked. I've always been a working parent. I've always explained to him from the time I was young, even when the only job I had was my tech job. And also I used to be a sex educator. So, that part, like the one thing I wanted to... The one thing I was really concerned about was whether he could make the separation of I'm going out of the house and I'm gone so often because I'm actually working towards something as opposed to I'm just kicking it and leaving you behind. But I think now he gets it. He's
old enough.
He's going to be 15 in a couple months.
Has he seen you perform?
Yeah.
He has.
Does he think you're funny?
He does not. He doesn't give a fuck. Like he'll just like, all right, when do we eat? Like he's not really impressed. He's just like when he was younger.
He likes the perks and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like
he's always annoyed. He always has
when he was
Mom thinks she's so funny.
She was like, God, Mom. I remember one time because he's getting into shape. He's like at the age where he's like lifting weights and he's interested in that kind of thing, right? And so he's like, Mom, how come we haven't gone to the gym this week, right? And I was like, I tweaked my back, like lifting something else, and I was explaining to him, I was like, sometimes when you get old, your body doesn't recover the same way. And he's like, I guess all those jokes you have about looking young are backfiring on you.
Oh, he get it from his mom.
So when's his first show?
I was like, whose fucking health? I was like, whose fucking health insurance are you on? Watch him now.
Yeah.
Apple not falling far from the tree.
No, he got jokes. I'm like, God damn.
Would you be supportive if he wanted to do comedy, like at a young age?
As
18?
as long as he did good shows with good people. Like, I don't want him to be some sort of like bullshit ass edgelord that just wanted to be an asshole for no reason and just started fights on Facebook. I mean, not that I start fights, I finish them. That's a difference. But like, I just, I don't want him to be like one of those crazy motherfuckers. You've seen those people, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Can you believe the Voice Party has had merch this whole time and we neglected to tell anybody? T-shirts, hoodies, bath mats, wall clocks, throw pillows, even mini skirts. We will throw our logo on absolutely anything. Click the link in the description below and pick you up some Voice Party merch today.